To academic 7-7 notes, just a little review of imaginary and complex numbers. I don't like that glare. Hey, Sheldon, can you switch on the left and switch off the right? It's a little better, I guess. Okay. Yeah, why don't you just do both off, Sheldon? Thanks. Is that okay? All right, so starting up here, okay? Do you guys remember square roots of negative numbers, how we treat this? Okay. So if there's a negative inside my radical, what do I do? Anyone remember? Yeah, so you just ignore it, ignore the negative, do the square root of positive 9, that'll give you 3, and then just tack on an I. That's your answer, okay? If the negative is inside the radical, you tack on an I at the end. If your negative is outside the radical, you just tack on a negative at the end. Okay? So going to be here, right? Let's ignore the negative. Let's just do square root of positive 18, right? So if we break that down, it gives us 3 squared times 2. The square root of 3 squared times 2, or 3 root 2, right? Any questions on how I did that? And then my negative is inside the radical. So am I going to tack on an I or a negative? I. There you go. Yep. Okay. This one, where's my negative? Outside, right? So I'm going to just do square root of 4. 2. Am I going to tack on an I or tack on a negative? Negative, yeah. There you go. Okay. Good. D, right? So let's ignore the negative. Let's just do 5 times positive root 20. Okay, 20 is, if you do the prime factorization, you get 2 squared times 5. So square root of 20 is the same as square root of 2 squared times 5, which is the same thing as square root of 2 squared times square root of 5, which is 2 root 5. Okay. So this is going to be 5 times 2 root 5, or just 10 root 5. Okay. And I tack on a what here? An I, right? And that's because my negative is inside my square root symbol. Okay? Alright, so if it's inside, tack on an I. If it's outside, tack on a negative. Any questions? Can we move on? Okay. Alright. Okay. So for these, sometimes you want to simplify and then multiply or divide. Other times you want to multiply and divide, then simplify, okay? So you might think of this as, okay, this is going to be root 3, this is going to be I root 3 times I root 7, which equals I squared root 21, which equals negative root 21. You might think of it that way, okay? What's going to be easier here is I can just combine these two radicals into one. So just do negative 3 times negative 27, you get square root of 21. Okay, that's it. Okay. So what happens there is when you multiply, the negatives cancel each other out. You actually end up getting just a regular positive radical. Okay. F. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's multiply these together first. So I'm going to rewrite my square root as square root of negative 25. Okay. What's the square root of negative 25? 5, yeah. Too bad this won't be on the quiz. It will be on the test though. Okay, this next one right here, right? I could do this two ways. Okay, I could do this two ways. I could multiply them together. Okay, let's see what happens if we try multiplying them together at the beginning. Square root of negative 256. Who knows what that is in their head?
16.
All right, who else knows? Yeah, only Sheldon. Good job, Sheldon. Okay, and me. All right. No one else does, right? That's kind of tough. So what should I do instead? Each one, yeah. Break it down, okay? Square root of 4 is what? 2. Square root of negative 64 is what? 8i. And then multiply those two numbers together, okay? I go into H. For this one, what did I do for this one? What should we do? What's the easiest way to do this one? Yeah, let's do the square root of each, okay? What's the square root of 81? 9. On the bottom, you're going to get what? You'll get root 6i, okay? Or I root 6. Okay. What's wrong with this answer? Can't have a square root in the bottom. You also can't have an I in the bottom, okay? Because an I is a square root, right? I is the square root of negative 1. So you can't have an I in the bottom. How am I going to get rid of those? Yeah, I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by I root 6. Okay. So on the top, I get 9i root 6. On the bottom, what do you think I'm going to get? I'll get, okay, so let's think about this. Root 6 times root 6 is what? 6. What's I? But I still have to do I times I. What's that? I squared, right? Which is what? Negative 1. It's going to be over negative 6, okay? Good. Let's review. What are the 3 things I need to check, right? We need to make sure there's no radicals in the bottom. Are there any? Are the radicals that are in the top, are they simplified? Yep. And then what's the third thing? Can I simplify that fraction? At 9 over 6? Yeah, that'll simplify to 3 over 2. Yeah. So ignore the I. Just look at these like numbers in front. Good question. All right, let's move on to A, okay? All right, big mistake here that a lot of people made is they saw 2 pairs of parentheses next to each other and they're like, oh, I'm going to FOIL. A lot of people tried to FOIL this, okay? So they tried to do like 6 plus 12i. Okay, why is that wrong? Why is that wrong? Yeah, I only FOIL when there's a multiplication in the middle, okay? If it's a plus, it's actually easier. I just combine my like terms, okay? Remember, treat I like a variable. The only difference is I squared equals negative 1. So combine these 2, that's 5. Combine those 2, that's minus I. Done. Okay. B, again, it's a minus in between, right? So we're not going to FOIL. What are we going to do? I like to subtract, I like to distribute the negative. So 8 minus I, then that becomes a minus 2 and a plus 3i. Alright, and then I just combine like terms. Any questions on that one? Distribute the negative, combine like terms, okay? That's all subtraction is. It's just fancy addition. We have to distribute first. Okay? C. What do? Distribute the negative, thank you. So 7 minus 9 minus 3i, negative 3i minus 2. Alright, can I move on? I'm going to move on. Alright, multiply right again. We treat I just like a normal variable. The only difference is that everywhere we see an I squared, that just poofs into a negative 1. Okay? So 6i times 8i, what's that? So it's going to be, let's take it one step at a time. It's going to become 48i squared, right? And then the I squared becomes a negative 1, so it becomes negative 48. It just poofs into a negative 1. B, right? What's that when I multiply them together? Negative 15 I squared, right? That I squared is going to become a negative 1 and flip my sign, so it's going to become positive 15. Okay? For C, for part C. All right, what am I going to do now? Distribute, right? We're treating it just like a normal variable. And this time there's a time sign, so now I do my distributing. Okay? So 8i minus 18i squared. A lot of people forgot to change what, you think, on the last test when we did this? They forgot, they just left it as I squared, right? What should that become? A plus 18, right? Ooh. Tummy kind of hurts. Drank too much milk this morning. Okay, now we're going to do what? Because there's a what sign in between. There's a time sign, right? So now we are going to FOIL. All right, you guys see the distinction? Okay. So first, outer, inner, last. Make sure it's a plus 4i squared. Okay? So these two terms in the middle, right? Those are like terms, so we're going to combine those. What does that 4i squared become? Negative 4, right? So that negative 4 and that positive 2, those will combine to negative 2. Okay. All right, let's FOIL this one, okay? Root 2 times root 2. 2. Outer. And that minus 4i squared, don't forget to change that into a plus 4, okay? So those will combine to 6. Okay? These two terms in the middle, are those like terms or not? Yeah, so we have our coefficients here, plus 2 and minus 2. Everything after that is the exact same, right? Just I root 2. So those are going to combine to what? 0. Yeah, those will cancel. You just have 6. Answer 6. Alright. And then F, the classic parentheses squared. What's someone going to do? What's a mistake someone's going to make? So they're going to do 3 squared minus 2i squared, right? Why can't I do that? You have to foil. Yeah, good job. Has a minus sign in the middle, so you have to foil. You can only distribute exponents when there's a times in the middle, okay? This is not a times sign. This is a minus sign, okay? So we have to foil it. 9 minus 6i minus 6i plus 4i squared. That's negative 4, so it's going to be 5 minus 12i. Alright, can I move on? Why do I need to simplify these? What's going on? Cannot have I in the bottom. Okay, you cannot have I in the bottom. Right? And there's a difference between these first two and these second two, right? And I think a lot of people forgot about this. Okay? There's only one term in the bottom on these first two, right? Just an I term. When there's only an I term, what do I multiply by on the top and bottom? Just I. Okay, so the top is 2i. Bottom is I squared, so that becomes 2i over negative 1, which is negative 2i. Easy money. Money which is easy. Alright? B, what do I multiply by the top? Just I, right? Just I. You could do 7i jack. You're just going to have more simplifying to do at the end.
Oh, sure.
So you won't get the wrong answer as long as you remember to simplify your fractions. Alright, any questions over those? These two are a little different. There's 2 terms, right, in the bottom. What do I multiply when there's 2 terms? Good job. Yes, you multiply by the conjugate. Multiply by conjugate of bottom. Good job, guys. So times 2 minus 3i all over 2 minus 3i. Distribute on top, 12 minus 18i. On the bottom, look at, what is this going to be? 4 outer inner. Alright. What does the bottom simplify to? Look, I heard it.
13.
Yeah, right? So those 2 middle terms, those are like terms they'll cancel. That minus 9i squared becomes a plus 9. And 9 plus 4 is 13, okay? Here's how I want you to write these, okay? I want you to split up the numerator. Okay? That, and then make sure these 2 fractions are simplified. Are these 2 fractions simplified? Yeah. That's the easiest way to simplify these. Some teachers like to draw a triangle and say, what are the common factors of these 3 numbers? I think it's easier to split it up and just separately simplify them as separate fractions. Does that make any sense? Okay. D. Multiply by what on top and bottom? 4 plus 3. top, I FOIL to 12 first, outer plus 9i, inner last. And that's going to simplify to what? 6 plus 17i. That you guys got?
Yeah.
Okay. On the bottom, let's FOIL. Alright, there's 2 in the middle, cancel out. Minus 9i squared becomes plus 9, so we have 25. Okay? And split it up, okay? So do 6 over 25 plus 17 over 25. Are those two fractions simplified? Yes, sir. Okay. Any questions on this? Hopefully this is review, because it is review. Alright, this stuff's new, right? This is not review. This is not review. Okay? Here's how you do this. It's actually not hard. Okay? So you guys like, I to the 27, does that look intimidating? Does it look intimidating? It's okay, because it won't be intimidating in 5 minutes. Okay? So one thing there's a list of things you do need to know for this. You can either memorize it, or you can know how to like rederive it. Just, you can remember how to write down the list for yourself. So I to the 0 is going to be what? Excuse me. What's a number raised to the 0 equal to? 1. Yeah. I to the 1 just equals what? I, yeah. I squared, what's that? -1, I cubed. That's going to be what? I times I squared, right? Which is going to be what? -I. And I to the 4th is going to be what? It's going to be I squared times I squared, right? What's that? -1 times -1, which is what? +1. So you do need to know this stuff. Okay, either figure out how to memorize it or figure out how to rederive it for yourself. Okay, maybe on a test, if you forget, you can just do I times I times I times I. That'll tell you that I to the 4th equals 1. Okay. Other than that, what you do with these is you take the exponent, and if it's bigger than 4, you divide the exponent by 4 and change the exponent to the remainder that you get. Okay, so write that little note down. Can I move on? Okay. So I cubed, that's just, we copy that from our list, right? What was that? -I. I to the 4th was just what? 1. I to the 5th, we have to do what? 5 divided by 4, that's what? 1 remainder 1. So I to the 5th is equal to I to the 1. Okay? I to the 6th. 6 divided by 4 is what? Yep, so I to the 6th is equal to I squared, which is negative 1.
How'd you get a equal to I squared?
Sorry, what?
No.
Right, that remainder of 2 became the new exponent. 27 divided by 4 is what? 6 remainder 3. So I to the 27 equals I to the what? Third, yep, which is negative I. I can give you I to the 30,223. You can get it. Right? That's how they have you do this stuff, like work with huge numbers on standardized tests. Like I had a standardized test in the fall, and like one of the questions was like, what's 3 to like the 2,000 something modulus 5? Or no, that was like, what is the ones digit of like 3 to the 2,000 something? And if you do the it's like a similar method you can use for those. All right, F, right? You actually have to distribute that 5, right? Because there's a time symbol here, you do distribute the exponent, so it becomes negative 2 to the 5 times I to the 5. What's negative 2 to the 5? Negative 32. I to the 5, that becomes I to the 1, or just I. Alright? Alright, homework is on Schoology. So we'll do a review day tomorrow, quiz Thursday. I don't see you Friday. We'll do a review day Monday, test Tuesday. And then we can kind of just chill a little bit before spring break. So homework, chapter 7. Homework assignments, 7-7 homework. What? For the first day of spring break? Week from Friday is the 24th. The first day of spring break. Spring break. Is the quiz? It'll be similar to the last one. It'll be 30 minutes. Alright guys, the bathroom. Don't leave until 40. Take pictures of the textbook. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's on that file cabinet. Make sure you get an ID card. No way of knowing. I'm a radical skeptic.
Well, you know, like a video.
I already know that you're Thomas Mann. You could just be an imposter that's just like Thomas Mann. You could be his twin brother that goes through it. I'm a radical skeptic. I actually believe that humans are just bundles of experiences. So if you get new experiences each day, you're literally a different person. But there is a philosophy. There's a lot of people who do that. Alright, don't leave till 7:40.
You're literally none of my teachers say.
Literally none of your teachers are listening to the administration. Lift the knees, not the back.
Deadlifted?
Andrew Barringer saw me at the Monon Center yesterday. He just came up to me while I was squatting and just like started squatting. I actually appreciate it though. I never have a squat. I never have a
Do
squat.
people on the math league, do people like actually get all those questions correct?
Yeah, this one was actually easier. I think I could have gotten 5 of them. I was gonna pick up 5. Maybe. I'm sorry.
I like guessed on 3 of them. That was about all
I can try to do them.
I don't know, dude. It was just like stuff. I
Yeah,
feel
it
like it was
was
just stuff
easier.
like I didn't know how to do. Like, I don't know. But we just get points for like showing up though, right? We don't actually.
Yeah. I'm terrible at the I'm not good at probability or combinatorics because I never really took those classes heavy in college. 4 is kind of formulaic. No, today we have to do a notes day actually, so we have to push everything back a day.
So the quiz is gonna be on Friday.
You'll have it.
Last Friday. We don't have school.
Yeah.
Thursday.
So we're gonna have quiz Monday,
Oh.
and then we'll have a test Wednesday. So kind of buddying up. But
Review day Tuesday or something.
yeah, we're doing a review. We're doing notes today, then review, quiz, review, test.
No.
We have a review day tomorrow.
It's Monday.
Review day tomorrow, quiz Monday.
They changed it because we had
Yeah.
actually really nice.
I figured you guys want to review day for the quiz.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
then
if
another review day for the test. So it's kind of quiz. It's kind of quiz and test heavy, but
I like that though. I like going straight from the quiz.
the quiz will be a review day for the test too.
That's fine.
Essentially.
I like doing that. I'm messing with that.
So today's
Notes day.
Oh, it was
What's that?
I studied yesterday, you'd be so
Last year.
Well, I'm proud of you.
I am. I'm pretty good at that.
The only people I'm not proud of are the people that don't. It's not you.
And homework.
Kidding me. I cannot do this.
Do we not have a review it?
No, we don't. No. I did push everything back today.
So our quiz is on.
Monday.
So it's on fourth quarter.
I know.
Is it on second? No.
Yeah, okay, cool. I sent JT and Tia, what's up? No, I remember who you were. I think it was one day late. I had to give Dylan
Oh, it was.
That's what Power School said.
Shorts for like
Or I mean,
No, we have like 3 days late when we call.
yeah, it was 4 days after it was collected.
Is that English? Dude, no, I'm actually
I didn't stay in the class on Friday.
Turned it in Friday?
Yeah.
I didn't do stack
I walked in
yesterday.
with two of
I
them.
stacked yesterday, so I'm getting there.
Well,
Yeah.
Sure wasn't 7.4.
Yeah, 7.3. I had 7.3 right on it. You did turn 7.5 yesterday?
No.
All right, let's get the 7.6 homework out, please.
I'll be done after resources. I'm going to get help in our college.
Okay, good.
I didn't do it. I just wrote the problem and answered.
Why did you choose to?
Where's Andrew? Oh, there he
Yeah,
is.
probably. I picked like the 4-page one.
A little sore today. Thank you. Yeah, 7.3.
Yeah, like workout buddies.
Stacked yesterday. What's that?
You guys like workout buddies?
I guess we are now.
Like, yes, we are now.
Well, we're only workout buddies when we can instantly show up at the same time. There's no coordinating.
Right. Do you help spot Andrew?
No, I probably wouldn't spot
Yeah,
him.
but I mean, I do enjoy it.
He spotted me, though. I'm not going to stop him from spotting me.
What?
So my sister tried to spot me on squat. She just couldn't. She's just too short. Too.
That's why that makes bar things.
Yeah, the little runs.
Yeah.
It still freaks me out.
Yeah.
Your squat.
I just hate having to like re-rack the
Yeah,
app
this was snapping
and stuff.
When you re-rack? Oh, yeah.
Well, like I'm saying, like if you like go for a squat and it's too heavy, so the actual one plates off, pick it back up.
I've only bailed once, and I got horrible whiplash from it. Because I like fell forward, and then I jerked my neck up. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
Come over for 2
That's so fun.
it was like the worst. It like hurt right here so badly for like 3 days.
That's such a bad feeling.
Oh shoot! I forgot to turn off the video.